start anytime? Cool. Tavia Butler will give us the language to explain certain things that we may not be able to explain. We sort of get stuck in this, I want to read a lot of self-help book to improve myself. I'm a big advocate of men reading fiction, and yeah, guess what? Dante's got a new baby.
Henry Christian Jump.
And a new series came out for that one.
Wealthy or to prosper. My name is Q the Wolf. I am the founder of a platform called Dopereaders. Dopereaders is a platform, a community hub with the sole aim of promoting and highlighting Black and diverse authors and books. We do this through our book clubs, our book adjacent events, and via our social media, with the whole aim of just encouraging reading and improving literacy, with a special focus on young men as well, but again, to all the community who are trying to get into reading. I do a lot of work in youth work as well. I work within a college. Yeah, a lot of my work is based at educating and empowering young people as well as young adults. First up, we have Noughts and Crosses by Mandem Blackman. I read this kind of late, and effectively it's about a dystopian world where crosses, who are obviously Black people, the ruling class, and you've got noughts who are the sort of like the underdogs in society. And it's effectively a story that revolves around two main characters, Sefi and Callum, as they navigate things like racism, political terrorism, growing up in different factors in different states. It's a love story between two people who had all the odds stacked against them and somehow still tried to find ways to make it work regardless of their situation. Next up is Octavia Butler, Kindred. I call Octavia Butler, I believe she's the queen of sci-fi. She's one of the first Black women I read who did sci-fi. And this novel, again written in I can't stress enough, it's written in 1973, follows the protagonist Dana, who is living in 1970 California, and she is pulled back in time by her ancestor to a pre-Civil War Maryland plantation where she has to save her ancestor, who's a young white slave master called Rufus. I think it's incredible based on the fact that she wrote this so long ago. And the storyline is so dope. Caleb Azuma Nelson, Open Water. This is incredible as well. I call Caleb Azuma Nelson our modern day James Baldwin. It follows a young man, a young photographer who is navigating masculinity, navigating racism. It's set in London. It follows him and his journey as he falls in love with another creative who shares the passion of art and whatever. And it just shows very intimate, vulnerable sides of a relationship, as well as the hardships that you navigate in order to just be in a relationship in this day and age. Avoidance, Drugs, Heartbreaks and Dogs. This is by Jordan Stevens. You might know him from the band Rizzle Kicks, but he's an author, a dope author as well. This is a memoir. He detailed his journey with being diagnosed with ADHD, his journey of being in the limelight, being famous, his journey of going through a breakup. One part of it that I believe he details with such great intricacy that you feel it in your heart, and I feel like every man who's been in that kind of situation will resonate with it in that sense of it as well. It's more about him being able to give us the language to explain certain things that we may not be able to explain. It's very heartwarming, it's very relatable to me as a young man, and I think will be the same for most young men out there as well. And the most recent one that comes out this year is Trapped Life by Dr. Ebony Reed, being published by Murky Books. And this is also a non-fiction, it's a memoir as well. And it's about Dr. Ebony Reed's time growing up in a city estate, story of the Mandem on her estate, and how they've had to struggle with different situations. It gives us that insight and gives a bit more understanding to the intricacies, because it's not as easy as it may seem or may look, and it's not as it's reported on the news and the television or whatnot. Incredible book. Those are my 5 that I brought here today. Out of these 5, I think the book that stayed with me the most, possibly, I'm gonna have to give it to Noughts and Crosses. Only because this is the book that I read that more or less got me back into reading when I stopped reading after however long I stopped reading for. It's got me back into, and I read this one at least twice a year. It's such a heartwarming story, and there's so many different aspects and elements in it that make up a story. But again, like I said, I love the element of the love story in it. I love the story of Sefi and Callum and how they had to navigate all the hardships in order for their relationship to remain intact and remain real. I'm a big advocate of men reading fiction. It gives us language, it teaches us empathy, teaches us sympathy, and it helps our imagination as well. When we start reading, especially with men, we sort of get stuck in this, I want to read a lot of self-help book to improve myself, and I'm very much for it. However, I do feel like on the other end of that, fiction, again, is for situations and ideas that we may be facing as well in our personal lives and social lives that give us, again, that understanding and just the language to be able to articulate and speak about it out loud. And again, reading is, as much as it's for education and learning, it's a form of escapism as well, and just get lost in the story and just feel all your emotions, all your body parts, everything, just engage with the story and engage with the character. So I am an advocate of men reading fiction. A piece of fiction work that has helped me engage with young men and young people in general is another Malawi black men fiction book called Boys Don't Cry, and it's about teenage fatherhood. The whole story is about a young man, I believe his name is Dante. He's getting ready to go to university, and one day he gets a knock from his ex-girlfriend at the door, and she comes in the house and she's got a baby, a little girl. She's being very mysterious, very coy about it, and yeah, guess what? Dante's got a new baby. She texts him and says, you know what? You know, you've got a new daughter now, that's your little girl, so I'm gonna need you to look after her whilst I get myself correct. This bombshell dropped onto him is a reality that a lot of young men, again, I've seen around, have faced before, and it gives them a new sense of responsibility that they may not have wanted that early. And I think using that as a metaphor to teach young men general responsibility has been a very important and useful factor when speaking to them, because again, I can use it as a metaphor for anything, but the baby metaphor works the best because it's a whole new situation that you're not prepared for already for us to dropped on your table. I normally lead with questions like, what would you do in that situation? How would you come about it? And then with follow-up questions or follow-up scenarios that get them thinking and get them looking at just generally adulthood. I've been Q for What's the Mandem Reading. I would like to say this is a very important channel for the sole fact they're giving a voice to, again, the Mandem that I read, and I'm a very big advocate for peer-to-peer recommendation. So I believe that all the guests that they've had, including myself, have brought incredible recommendations, and I've picked up a couple for myself, including books recommended by a good friend of mine, John Paul. I believe, yeah, this channel is important. So with that said, I'm Q. This has been What's the Mandem Reading. I hope you like my stack. I hope you pick up one of the books from my stack, and I hope it helps you in whatever you're overcoming, or just generally something cool to read. All good? Sick. Oh, that was cool.